stress relief, self-care, everything right now program. Leslie, she's in my top left corner, is going to be kind of taking charge and moderating, and then I'm going to be jumping in. Jennifer's going to be jumping in, as well as Melissa. We have a couple others that we are going to be posting. We have one that we'll post on Monday of how to work out at home when you don't have any equipment or anything like that. And then at the end of next week, we will be posting all of the recordings. So if you missed one earlier this week, you can go back and watch that one. So Leslie, if you want to go ahead and get started.
Yeah. So first off, this is definitely not lecture-y. That is not how I roll. If we're on a topic and you have a question or a great idea, just throw it out there and share it with all of us. I am the director of campus life at Cameron. I am in no way an expert on self-care or stress. I mean, probably having stress, but not in relieving stress. But I think it's really important that we do it. And any little tip that I can get to make it better for me, I'm all about. So I'm always learning about this. But I think as I was researching this, kind of the big things that kind of popped out to me were that this is a marathon, not a sprint. It's easy to go, okay, we've been locked in for 3 weeks and look at what either I have done or I haven't done or whatever. But also know that we're not done yet. We don't know when the end point is or how things are going to change. So it's okay that you go through different waves and different stages and what happens, and that's okay. We're in this for the long haul. We're all in this together, so that's okay. So pace yourself. I have to tell my admin that all the time. She wants to do all the work right now, and I say, no, because you got to have something to do in 3 weeks if we're still here. You can't do it all. So do a little bit at each time. Pace yourself. Those people that are cleaning, they're like, I've cleaned every closet. You need to pace yourself because there's still plenty of time for that later. Also be aware that everybody responds a little bit differently. Some people will tell you how they're responding because they're going to post it on their social media about what they're doing. My favorite are the cleaning people who are cleaning. That has not hit me yet. I'm hoping it does, but no, I haven't vacuumed and I probably need to. I haven't dusted. I haven't cleaned out any closets. And that's okay. Everybody handles things differently. So some people might clean, some people plan and organize and are really good about that. Some people post it all on social media and they want everyone to know how they're feeling and what's happening. And some people are just paralyzed and don't really know what to do. And those are all okay feelings. You can embrace those. There's no right or wrong, but don't compare yourself to someone else either. I've kind of learned that as well. It's great that you're cleaning, but I'm going to read a book today and I'm going to sit on my butt all day because that's what I want to do and that's how I'm going to handle this. And that's perfectly fine. Maybe I'll clean tomorrow, or maybe I'll never clean. And when I finally leave the house, I'll decide to clean. I don't know. But there's no right or wrong way to do. You got to do whatever works for you. That's kind of my general thing is you do you, however that happens. So kind of some big tips are, own and accept how you're feeling. It's okay to not always have a great day. Working from home, I've realized that Monday is really productive. By Friday, not quite as productive. It's a little harder to get some stuff done because I've been sitting on the same couch all week. So it's a little different and that's okay. And it's all right to kind of just own that and just kind of accept that whatever. I think my favorite comment that I've read that kind of put it in perspective is we're not working from home. We're at home during a crisis trying to work. So that's totally different than I'm not going to have the same level of work ethic or the same level of kind of everything that I want to get done is going to happen because that's just not how life is working right now. And that's okay. I think it's really important that you take breaks from media. That's both social media and actual media. If I watch every press conference, it doesn't make me happy. So I think it's okay. And I promise when you decide to go back to the news, there will still be news. So even if you miss all the news on Thursday, I promise when you check on Friday, you'll figure out what you missed on Thursday and there's still going to be more news. So I think that's important to kind of, information is great, but there is very clearly information overload between the local press conferences, the national press conferences, the state press conferences, everything that we're hearing, all that stuff. It's okay to just kind of go, you know what? I don't want to watch that. I can't do that. I'm just going to be out of the loop for 24 hours. And you know what? Life's still going to go on and you're still going to be in your house. And kind of don't compare yourself to others. As I said before, everybody kind of does what they need to do to get through. So we're going to highlight kind of some 4 different types of self-care that you can do that are important. And then maybe some tips in there that you can kind of take for yourself. And if you want to share some, I'm always up for those too. So Jennifer's going to go, Becca's going to go first with some physical things you can do for self-care.
So for physical, it's really just any activities that's going to improve the well-being of your physical health. For me, I started a course through Yale because they are offering free or super cheap enrollment fees right now. And one of the activities that we're doing is for 4 weeks, we're tracking our physical activity. And then at the end, kind of seeing how that made us feel from the first week to the end of the 4th week. So physical activity doesn't have to be going to a gym, working out for an hour, completely draining yourself. It could be taking a walk around the block. It could be going on a bike ride or sitting outside gardening, like really anything that's kind of a physical activity that you are enjoying and is kind of getting your mind off of things and into your physical self. In terms of drinking water, staying hydrated, there are so many different measures out there. Some say you need to drink 50% of your body weight in ounces of water. So say you weigh 150 pounds, that's 75 ounces of water a day. Some measures say 8 glasses of 8 ounces of water. Some say men need different than women. So kind of just know how much water your body needs to feel healthy, but don't obviously overhydrate yourself because that is a thing and you can get water poisoning. So you don't want to drink too much water. Sleep is important, especially right now, to give your mind a break, to give your body a break, to allow yourself to reset. So make sure you're getting enough sleep, whatever enough means to you. I like 9 hours of sleep if I can. Some people, like my husband, function really well on 5 or 6 hours of sleep. But then also, if you're at home with kids or other family members, make sure that they're also getting enough sleep. So I know right now people are struggling with their kids because their kids aren't having a strict bedtime right now because they don't have to get up at 7:30 in the morning. So like, oh, you can stay up however late your tiny little body needs to feel tired. But it's nice to keep yourself on that routine of, okay, I don't have to get up this early in the morning, but I'm still going to put myself to bed at 10 o'clock to make sure that my body's getting enough sleep to reset, to get into that REM cycle of making sure that you're actually getting a deep sleep rather than just that surface level sleep. The physical thing that I struggle the most with is healthy eating. I'm a big snacker. I like to snack before lunch and after lunch and before dinner and a bedtime snack. But I've learned to not go for that giant bowl of ice cream. Maybe in the morning after lunch, I'll have apples and peanut butter rather than something super sugary. The apple still has a bunch of sugar, and so does the peanut butter, but it's a little better for my lactose intolerant self to not eat a bowl of ice cream. And then a lot of people really like guided meditations. It's not one of my favorite techniques. There are a lot of really cool, just like GIFs that are on repeat of breathing visualizations. One of my favorite ones is it's a triangle that then expands into an octagon, and it tells you when the shape is growing, that's when you inhale, and as the shape goes back down, that's when you exhale. So I really like that visualization, where some people really just like that guided meditation of someone talking to them saying, okay, put your feet on the ground, your hands in your lap. Now relax your shoulders, relax your tongue off the roof of your mouth. Some people like that more whole body encompassing kind of meditation. And then one thing that our wellness center director recommended is diaphragmatic breathing. So that's when you kind of lay on the ground, you have one hand on your chest, one hand on your stomach, and you really concentrate on your breathing of feeling your body expand as you inhale and then feeling your body contract as you exhale. And it can help your lungs actually strengthen, your diaphragm muscles strengthen, and then it's focusing yourself on that breathing and making sure you're really feeling your body and filling your body with that breathing. Does anybody else have any other physical things that they like to do for themselves?
I'm a big walker because I've tried to run and it just doesn't work for me. I'm not a runner. And I've realized since I've been working from home and haven't been out as much, my type of walking has changed. I used to very much be like, I want to set a good pace and I want to be done faster. That's really the whole goal. But I want to set a good pace and I want to, make sure I expend the calories. And now I'm like, nope, I'm outside and I'm breathing in fresh air and I'm seeing the ducks at the park. So I've learned that pace has kind of changed, which I'm really okay with because the goal for me is to get my 10,000 steps, whether that takes me whatever, but if I can't get those around my house. So for me, the mindfulness that goes with, no, it's not just getting it done and, marking off the calories. It's really more enjoying it and kind of taking it in, enjoy breathing and being outside and avoiding people while outside. So for me, it's kind of the mental that changes, not just the action I'm doing.
And I'm not there yet. I was pretty active before all of this. Life just got kind of crazy. And I, taught a fitness class and I really enjoyed working out. And just since this has happened, I'm not in that mindset yet of working out or getting into that routine. It sounds great. I think every morning I start and say, maybe do some stretches or whatever, but it's just, I'm not used to working out in my home. I'm used to being at the rec center, or outside, but I'm kind of scared to go outside now. I live in an apartment complex. There's a lot of people. So I know I need to do something because I think those endorphins are important. I know I feel better after I work out, but I also, Leslie, when he mentioned like, don't compare yourself to others and kind of be kind to yourself right now, I'm trying to do that. And so the physical part for me has not been there. And I kind of have gone the other, like I'm eating all the comfort foods, all the foods from when I was a kid, because that's what's familiar and that makes me feel good right now. And I'm okay with that for now, but I can't wait to go back and work out at some point. And Paula, I can see your name says Stress 2020. So I'm giving speaking of stress, yeah. Do any of you that have joined in, are you guys working out or doing any physical stuff?
I've brought the dogs on like 2 walks, but it's kind of chilly. It's like, oh, I need to start doing that.
Yeah.
It's hard because my house is not the place that I think of to exercise. So that's like, I'm with you. Outside. I hate treadmill drives me crazy. So like, I'm going to do it. I want to be outside. And so it took me a while to go. So I live within 3 blocks of a park. So I walk to a park, but everybody's going to the park. So I'm like, okay, I need to drive to campus where it's also a safer place to walk and nobody's there walking. So I do that because in my house, there's just not the support and I don't like it. Like I want to not be here. Like I'm here all the time anyway. So can I go do something else? And that's hard to figure out and find what that is.
Sorry, my dog. I'm gonna go let her out.
And then my poor dogs have never been on a leash so much in their entire lives. They used to see the leash and get super excited. Now they look at it and say, oh my God, here we go again. Because we go on 2 or 3 times a day now, and they're like, oh, doesn't she have someplace to go?
Oh.
So Melissa is talking a little bit about social self-care and what that means whenever we're distancing from other people.
I always say I loved my job so much at Cameron because of the social aspect of it. And I'm not loving it so much right now. I look forward to our Zoom meetings, for my social interaction. I live out in the country, so it's not like I have neighbors that I can, sit out in my front yard and say hello to. I'd have to yell quite a distance. But trying to find things to do to keep myself socially involved, but yet not, social media is the easy thing to go to. But some of the social media is so negative. And I find myself, the more that I you get to watching some of it, you feel that negativity. And I'm personally the type, when I take on somebody else's negativity, I can feel it. I can feel it in my shoulders. I can feel it in my neck. So trying to find, a balance of getting my social media, but getting the right social media, something that makes me feel good. I like the sarcastic humor. We're in a horrible pandemic, but I like to find the posts that find the humor in it and stuff. That helps me. Something that's a little bit more lighthearted. I enjoy seeing everybody posting their senior pictures back in the day, or memories back from a year ago at this time, or 2 years ago, when it wasn't so dark. So that's something to kind of look forward to, being on your social media, posting what you're doing, keeping that up for yourself, but also keeping up with other people. This is a great time to kind of reconnect with friends and family that you've lost touch with. I know I've done that personally. You see something that jogs a memory, and you know what? I haven't talked to that person. Now's a great time to catch up, either through email, send them a text, hey, it's been a long time. Hey, stranger. Things like that. Has anyone else reconnected with anybody, or your family, aunts, uncles?
I don't know that I've ever texted my brother this much in my life.
Yeah, I had to teach my parents how to FaceTime. They got new iPhones this year, so it's been a whole big transition, but teaching them how to FaceTime. Now that's the only way she calls, and I have to kind of screen her and stuff. Another great thing is to find a way to be involved. I'm the type, I've always been involved in so many things, activities and stuff, and all of our activities have been cut short. We can't do and get together. So I have found our local grocery store needed some deliveries done for the people who can't go to the store. So that's what I've started doing in the evenings, is I go pick up groceries, find a way to help somebody else, something that I can do to give back. If people are making the masks, I don't have that skill set, so that's not in my thing. People are doing things to help out a neighbor. If a neighbor needs their yard mowed, something, it's a dual end. I feel good about doing something. It gets me out of the house, gives me something to do, but I'm also helping somebody else. So that's kind of a great thing to, and you find things that you don't realize that people need help with, that they can't do now, that they could before. And it's kind of like, oh, wow, I never thought that my neighbor, needed help with this, or just checking in on them. I have older neighbors, so it's easy for me to kind of forget about them because I don't see them out and about so much. What else? Oh, keeping a routine. I think Leslie and Becca and all them have kind of touched on it. Speaking for personal, they say it's good to keep a routine. And I found that whenever I don't get up and I'm not getting dressed until 4:00 in the afternoon, I feel horrible. I just don't feel myself. So I've had to make it a point to kind of keep somewhat of a routine in the morning, getting up, make myself get dressed. I don't think I've done a Zoom yet without any makeup on. That's, kind of my thing, but I feel better. I don't feel like the day has completely, the first week was really tough because you kind of get into that being in your pajamas all day and, not my thing. I felt horrible about myself. So I feel better whenever I'm getting dressed, and you feel like you got some goals to go to. I don't do a whole lot other than around here. My house is the cleanest it has ever been, but I find myself, like they said, pacing myself because I cleaned out, a whole room, and I thought, okay, so I'll do one room each week, because if I do too much, I feel overwhelmed, but it's a simple feeling of accomplishment when I'm done. This is also a time I saw that Becca, through her social media, was learning how to make pasta, find a new hobby, take up learning a new language, learn something new, kind of give yourself some goals. I've cooked more dishes that I'm not familiar with than I've ever cooked in a long time. I've learned a whole bunch of new things. I learned that I need to always have dill on hand, because dill is a great spice to have in my cabinet. I've never I don't think I've ever had to use it as much as I have lately. But Becca took up and learned how to make pasta. I saw that. I don't bake, but it's my goal is to try to bake. My cakes usually come out about that thick, so it's not a good thing. What else? I know some people, I have a girlfriend that does affirmations and is a big believer in them. It's not my thing, but a lot of people, find something positive, say it to yourself. Some look at it in the mirror. You use it as your mantra to get through the day. Again, it's not my thing. I feel a little odd about talking to myself in the mirror, get me to week 6, I might think a little bit differently. But does anybody else do anything? Affirmations? Anything to keep yourself engaged?
I think interesting for me, social doesn't have to be like talking. Like I'm okay just being around people. Like even when I go to the park, like I don't want you too close to me because I need my 6 feet. But like just seeing other people, I don't have to interact with them to necessarily get that, but just like seeing that there are other people out there helps me. Yeah. So that was interesting for me to learn. Like, no, I don't have to talk to them or have a relationship or whatever, but just like seeing other people is enough sometimes for me.
I always joked, and even though I have 4 kids and a husband, I said I'm a good alone person. And so I've always said that because I like to go off by myself. I like to shop by myself. What I've discovered is I'm not a good alone person when it's not my choice. I'm a good alone person when I have that option. And so now I'm not. I mean, I am dying to sneak into the office to, I just feel better sitting in the office, even if I'm all by myself. I feel like there could be people around me, instead I'm here sequestered and I don't like it at all. I need that social. And like Leslie said, even if it's not talking, just to feel other people.
I'm not like a super social person anyway. I do okay by myself, just part of my personality. But I do miss just kind of being around others. But I feel like since this has happened, I've been more social than I've ever been probably. And because we do have daily meetings, and I am FaceTiming with my parents every day, talking to friends. I've never been this social before. And in a way, when you look at silver linings, it kind of just reprioritized some stuff in my life. And just, it's important to the family and friends are very important, and connecting with them. Work is work, and it's good to have that to focus on too. But I think I've gotten to know people. I love Zoom in a way because it's very personal. So when you're looking at it right now, we're in our homes, right? And so I like to see what people's homes look like, because it's kind of a piece of them. I'm in bed because I have another person who is working remotely. And we have a small apartment, and so we've had to split space, just gonna kind of get used to that. And even though my husband is here 24/7, it's kind of still like the workday for us. Like I see him at 5. We go, and like keeping that schedule is important. And I may see him as I'm going to the kitchen to get something for lunch, but we pretty much kind of keep that routine. Like, hey, we'll see you at 5. But what's different is we're not like so tired, I guess. So we've got time to kind of prepare a meal together and watch some stuff together. So I've enjoyed that, like more quality time together, which I didn't realize I may have needed before in a social way. But you can be around someone all the time and not be super social. And I think it's made me be more social in this situation.
Amanda,
like Leslie mentioned, I'm a big reader, and so I was in a book club in my neighborhood, and obviously we're not meeting anymore, so we moved our book club to a virtual one. So we're doing our book club via Zoom, and so it's nice to still be able to have that connection of like I'm reading at home alone, but then I still have all of my friends that I can discuss it with later with a glass of wine in my living room.
Amanda, you and Sarah are in the younger age bracket of this group right now. How do you guys, I mean, are y'all doing anything differently to kind of keep your sanity, socializing wise?
Well, actually, whenever I'm staying with my parents right now. So like I have my own apartment, but I'm like I didn't want to be stuck all by myself in my apartment. So I came back home, and so I've been well, tonight makes 2 weeks. I've been back home with my parents and my sister. But and like kind of like talking about routine. I need to work on one. My routine's so far off right now.
It is. I know my sleep pattern is totally flipped. I mean, I am up half the night. I go on, like 4 hours of sleep, which is normal, but it's the scheduling of it. It's odd. It's like it's all shifted.
I'm definitely a night owl. So like at night I work better. Like I just work better at night. Like I kind of focus once everybody else is, well, I feel like everybody else in the world is asleep, and I kind of just zoom in and I can focus better. Like my sister, she woke up last night. She's like, "What are you doing up?" I can focus.
I know you talked about living in an apartment. My oldest son got his first job, moved away, his own apartment, and then all this has happened. So he's kind of stuck up in the city all by himself. Doesn't really know a whole lot of people, but he got somebody suggested, why don't you foster a dog? So that's what he's gone and done. He went and fostered a dog to kind of keep him company. Now the dog has become a permanent. It's going to be he's going to go through with the adoption. It was a great way for him to trial it out to see, because I'm like, that's a lot of responsibility, but it's worked out. She's been great. I was apprehensive, but now I was glad that he got her, because it gave him somebody, because I can tell the difference in his tone of voice, not having some interaction with somebody. And so even though he's lucky to still work from home, but he's stuck in an apartment by himself. So I couldn't imagine that.
I thought that I'd have trouble with it too. So it's like, I'm now back home.
The comfort of mom and dad always works.
Oh, yeah.
I'd go back to my parents too, but anybody else got any tips?
Okay, so I'll talk a little bit about emotional self-care and what that means. So that is anything that helps you connect or process or reflect on your emotions. I think the biggest takeaway for me in this time is that I have to give myself some grace and a lot of understanding that. So yesterday I'm also, my parents are older, so I'm picking up stuff for them and dropping it off. And my sister and I are kind of taking turns doing that. And we have a system that they just have not quite caught on to yet. And so I talked to my mom yesterday, and she got really short with me about something. And she texted this morning, "I'm really sorry, whatever. I don't even have a reason." I said, "Well, I did the same thing to you last week. So I get it. I didn't have a reason either. And it sucks. And it's just, as long as we realize that that's just how it's going to go, I think it's okay. We're not perfect. And this is horrible for everybody. And we're all learning what it looks like when you just can't pick up and go to Walmart because you want something. Yeah, you really do. So how does that work?" So I think it's okay. I've learned a lot. Give yourself grace. It's okay. You lower your expectations of yourself, of what you really need to do and what you have to do. And that's really okay. Usually I'm very nice. I'm a very nice person, but I was not nice over toilet paper. And I just had to say, I called the next day and said, "I don't have a good reason for it. It just happened, and I'm sorry, and I'll try not to do it again, but I'm probably going to guarantee you the next month it's going to happen again, because this is hard and this sucks and we're all still learning." So give yourself some grace. That it's really hard to do, but that's important, that we're all doing the best we can with what we have and what we know. And that's really all we can do. You can't really kind of force anything more than that. So also let go of what normal is. Normal is not normal. Normal is different than what it was a month ago, and normal is not what it's going to be 3 months from now. And maybe there is no normal, and that's okay too. Maybe my normal is pajama pants, which it is, and I am perfectly fine with that, all day pajama pants. But that's my new normal. Also, like Melissa said, care for others. What can you do with what you are? So for me, I shop for my parents. I'm taking my cat to the vet because of course now he decides to get sick. So that's a thing you got to deal with, but how can you help other people? What can you do? Is there someone that in your neighborhood that I do like to bake and I can bake banana bread and eat the whole loaf myself, but I should not, I live by myself. So can I bake some of that and can I give half to someone else across town because they, don't like to bake or don't want to bake, and I don't need to eat all the lemon brownies yesterday that I made. I didn't eat them all, I was sharing them. But, what can you do? Now's not the time to clean out your closet and take it all to Goodwill. Don't do that. You can clean out your closet, but hold it in your house until Goodwill is ready for your stuff. That's great. Also gratitude. Take some time each day to kind of think about, what am I really grateful for? I'm grateful that I can go to Walmart and that I can buy toilet paper now. I couldn't buy it 2 weeks ago, but I'm grateful that if I need it, that's an option there now. And I'm grateful that I have a house that lets me, that I have the heat on and that I can work from home and that I'm still getting paid to do that. So no matter how bad it seems, there's something to be grateful for every day. And sometimes it's really hard to find that. But one thing every day, do the best that you can to find something when you're having a bad moment or you're having a bad time or you're not nice to someone that you normally are. I'm grateful that I have parents that I can say that they're calling me and asking me, can I do this today? And I have to go, no, you really can't. I'm sorry. Thanks for asking though. But, but I'm grateful that they're there and that they're concerned enough that they're asking, So just kind of think about that. What is in your control that you are grateful for? So how do you all emotionally kind of take care of yourself and kind of manage your emotions and kind of be on top of that?
I'm sorry if my dog barks. She's just being bad today. I don't know what's up with her. I have a daily reader, a couple of them that I read every day, and they're just spiritual guides. And just for some reason, being able to identify with people, that gives me what I need to get through the rest of the day. Even this is awesome because that's what it does for me. When I realize, another human being can relate, it just makes me feel better. The first week was really tough for me as well because I carried all of that normal to this and all of my expectations to home. And I was getting frustrated because I was trying to make this stuff work and it wouldn't work. So, I realized that, this is going to take some flexibility and I can do that. I have a sheet at work someone gave me, and it's 3 little boxes, and one box says gratitude, the other box says affirmations. So I just write a little bit of that, and then the bottom says to do, and that's when I put my to-do list. And for some reason, because I'm a perfectionist and I get really caught up in my task, and that helps me balance it. I don't, because I have tunnel vision. It's like, there's more to life than this. I have this up here, whether it's, I'm enough today. I'm a great mom today. Just the things that I know are true, but sometimes I question. And so that's really neat. And I can email that to you guys if you want it. It just helps me to put it.
That is nice that every day kind of forces you. It's not just about what you're doing, but kind of things in perspective. That's so nice.
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody has done the love language quiz, but one of my top ones is words of affirmation to others. And so one thing that I've been doing is writing letters to my friends and family. I love getting snail mail, so I'm hoping that they're also enjoying getting it. But just kind of writing like why they're so important to me, how they've impacted my life, kind of letting them know, because I'm sure they are also emotionally struggling, letting them know that I get it, I'm there, but then also lifting them up and saying, yes, you are important. Yes, you have impacted someone's life greatly.
I think on the emotional part, like outside of this, before this happened, I'm kind of a natural worrier and I have a lot of anxiety, and I've been kind of strangely calm during this, or at peace, because I think it's, everything that I imagined was horrible has come true, so there's some calmness or validation in that. So I've been watching, so my husband's a lot more stoic and like emotionally grounded than I am. He's very realistic, and he kind of had a harder time with the adjustment than I did, because I think before this, I felt like my life was out of control, right? And everybody else was fine. But kind of knowing that everybody else is going through the same thing, and I'm not crazy, you know, like we're all kind of experiencing this, makes it a little bit more bearable. I hate that we're all going through this, but knowing that I'm not alone, that it's a new normal for everybody, just kind of gives me a little bit more comfort and peace with that. Like we don't know, but we're trying to figure it out together. And so I don't feel as alone as I did before, because I would tell people that I was anxious or feeling, and they may not understand, but I think everybody at this point can kind of understand, yeah, it's an anxious time. You know, we're all going through it. So there's some comfort in that to me. I don't know about everybody else, if that's kind of been their experience.
Oh,
Anyone who knows, I talk about having all the kids and stuff. My life is always constant chaos, and that's where I tend to thrive. That's, you know, keeping all the balls in the air, you know, what you're trying to juggle. That's how I operate. That's how I've operated for 20 something years with all the kids. Now I don't have that. And I'm trying to find some balls to put in the air so I can get back to my normal, because this is not it. And I always feel like it's too calm. That means I've forgotten something. So I'm constantly checking my calendar, checking my schedules, because something's not right. There's not normal that I can sit here. So now I find myself, you know, I have a senior that's graduating. So we're planning different types of graduation activities for our community to have, you know, and stuff. And of course, I'm like the ringleader. Yeah, we can do this. We can do that, you know. So I'm organizing all that for our community, because I need something else going on. This is not, you know, when we talk about emotions, Becca, Leslie, Paula, and Jennifer, no, I have none. I don't do the affirmations. I don't talk about anything feely. It's not my thing. We just keep moving. Pretend it's not there.
I do a lot of we're all in this together. Not that we're all in this together, but as in everyone is going through this. There's no one out there that's like having the time of their life doing whatever they want to do. You know, like everybody is making sacrifices and everybody is doing something. No one is enjoying being, I mean, even the most introverted person in the world is not enjoying not being able to leave the house when you want to leave the house. I find some comfort in that as well, to go, nope, I'm one of, all my friends are doing this too. It's not like anybody saw Michael Bublé 2 weeks ago like they were supposed to. Not like everyone else showed up but me. Like, no, like nobody's doing things. Everyone's making sacrifices. So that kind of helps me a lot, kind of keep that in perspective.
Yeah, there's no fear of missing out right now.
I was going to say, I'm a big FOMO type person, but I'm like, I don't have anything to miss out on, so I'm doing okay.
Yeah, my husband gets to go to work every day. He's an essential. He's a first responder. I am so envious that he gets to get up and has some place to go. You know, and when he comes home, I find myself, I pounce on him. How was your day? What you got to see? What'd you do? Any good stories? You know, I like pounce him for information. You know, it's like that lifeline to the outside, and I'm so jealous that he has that.
Yeah.
I don't want to go do his job, but I'm just jealous that he gets to.
Yeah.
Jennifer, what about some spiritual stuff?
Yeah. So we've got some activities when we talk about self-care, like how do you nurture yourself? And I think in this COVID-19 world, that gets hard for a lot of our students too, and faculty and staff and all of us. We before we thought about, hey, finding your Zen, we're kind of imagining this peaceful place, and that's just maybe not a possibility for us if we've got kids in the house and we're sharing space and we're sharing resources. Not everybody's got the luxury of having, you know, their own laptop, right? They're having to carve out time, like, okay, I'm going to have it from this time and this time. And like some of the tips that we would normally give just might not be applicable. Like finding a sacred space. You know, if you're able to find somewhere in your home right now that is just kind of your quiet space, that's great, but that may not be a reality for everybody right now. You just may not have that. Like I said, I'm working out of the bedroom, and it's not, before this happened, I'm like, yeah, I'd love to work in my PJs and be in bed and stuff. And it's not as fabulous as I thought it would be. It makes you feel a little lazy. I mean, you just get that kind of, I'm not as productive as I can be. And you gotta be okay with that. But sharing space, and it is hard, working. I don't know where you guys are all working, but to work out of the bedroom and to also sleep out of the bedroom, it doesn't quite, you don't get that separation of work and home. Like you're just there, it's all there. But maybe that sacred space is somewhere that's in your mind, or a place that you can escape to. And so they talked earlier about some meditations. That does not work for me. My brain works way too fast, and I can't do it. But there are some good apps. I've tried them. There's, Headspace is a cool app to try. They've got, a free version or a free trial, and it's these guided meditations, and the guy has this cool British voice. So, you're naturally a little bit, more in tune to it anyway. It's not like a New Yorker, like Hag, it's not abrasive sound. So it's nice. He's calm and kind of walks you through these different visualizations. Even if you can do it for 2 minutes, that's something. Set a timer, try to meditate. Spiritual means something different for all of us. For me, church is a sacred space for me, and I miss going to church and interacting with my church family. But I thought it was kind of cool because they've all had to scramble and find different ways of delivering their services. And so it's now online. And I'm Catholic. And so we're like super traditional. Like you just don't have like a ton of technology in our church. And, it was just very traditional. And I was a little worried about that, but I feel like more people have been participating in that now. So it's kind of thinking outside the box, and if you're missing that, kind of look to see if there's other alternatives. I've been able to go to different masses too, and participate in different churches around the world. If spirituality means you getting in tune with nature, that's important. Just kind of. I've got a tree outside my window, and I like to listen to the wind kind of going through the leaves. That's probably something I hadn't done before, but right now, when I seem to have more time than usual, I notice that. It's just how do you get in your flow? How do you get in that zone? And kind of take some time for yourself. Reading is good if you are a reader. I think that's a blessing for me, is that I'm a bookworm, because I know not all people are readers, but I always felt like with a book, it's like reading Rainbow. You can go anywhere, right? So with a book, you always have a friend, and you always have somewhere to go. You're not stuck in your quarantined room. But reading has helped. They say, if it's a good time for you to work on something inspiring, that's not right now. That's not me. I'm reading fun stuff, things that get my mind off of anything that's super serious. I'm on the wait list for Jessica Simpson's autobiography. That's kind of what I want to read next. Doing puzzles, things that maybe you just haven't had time to do. You've got, stuff that is collecting dust. So if you've got a Lego set, if you've got coloring books or anything, just kind of take some time, take breaks. Take a bath or whatever. If you've never had time for a bath before, now you do. Take a bath in the middle of the day. That will make you feel like you're playing hooky like nothing else. Is like, hey, I'm gonna middle of the day take baths. Students, I know you're struggling. Life has changed, but faculty and staff, it's changed as well. We don't have all the answers at all. I have days, I think that just talking to my staff, we all have kind of that blah day where we're real super unproductive. For some days, I'm in my PJs. I didn't get out of bed till 2. It happens, and that's okay, because maybe you find your groove later. Maybe, Saturday's your groove, and you're just kind of finding out your new normal. So, just kind of figure that out, whatever spiritual, mental, whether it's nature, whether it's prayer, whether it's meditation, losing yourself, not being so much in your head, whatever you guys are doing. That's kind of me. Do you guys have any other input to add on that? How you've been taking care of yourself, internally, spiritually? What are y'all doing?
Right now I'm taking a math class. Art class. I'm taking an art class, and normally I don't have time to do arts and crafties, but I've been having fun doing arts and crafties because I'm like, hey, this is for school. I get to play with paint. So yesterday, my mom and I, we were supposed to like do a blob and then make it into an alien. And so like my mom and I, we were over there at the table sitting, blowing paint around with a straw. It was fun. So I'm like, hey, I get to do arts and craft for school. So that's been kind of nice, being able to be arts and craft whenever. I don't usually have time for that.
Yeah, I'm a big crafter too, and like Jennifer said, like I've had stuff that I've been meaning to do and has been collecting dust. And I'm a big scrapbooker. I have 8 different scrapbooks, 1 for each semester that I did in college. And then I have 2 for each year one for each year that I did in grad school. And after that, I was working full time and I never had time to do it. I'm like, this is a great time to do it. I can do a work project, and then I can do 2 pages of my scrapbook, and then I can watch a webinar and be working on my scrapbook at the same time. So I'm like halfway through this scrapbook that I've been meaning to do, and it's been nice to kind of have that time, have that outlet to get my creativity out, where I normally don't have that during the day because I'm at work from 8 to 5.
Kai, how are you keeping it all together?
I've been actually keeping a diary. And it helps a lot when the emotions get overwhelming, that I need to get it out, because one day I was in the house and I was literally screaming around the house. So I just said, I think I need to write something down to let it out.
That's important too. I think it's like it's such a cool time to document what's going on. I hope in a couple years we read this and we look back and like, oh my gosh, do you remember the pandemic, and life kind of returns back to normal. I do think documenting, journaling and stuff is important. If you're able to do that, just to jot down like, hey, I got to go to the store today. It's just, I don't think we'll take anything for granted after this. Even like the toilet paper, Leslie, when we talked about that, like I never thought before that was a luxury. And it is when you don't have it, when you're trying to ration it, you just realize how blessed I was to have that. Never really gave it much thought. And now you do,
Yeah, I never realized how often I popped into the store to buy one thing and then come home. I'm like, no, like now I'm making intentional shopping trips where I just get everything at once. I'm only going to the grocery store once a week because it's just me at home right now. So I don't have to have like, okay, I need to buy 3 days at a time worth of meat. Like I can just get like 2 weeks at a time and I'm good. And I'm like, all right, just get everything at once, not pop out for, I want some pudding, so I'm going to go get a box of pudding. Though I did do that last week because I did want a box of pudding, but like making sure that, like it's not just that one thing whenever you want to go out. It's very like intentional now.
Yeah.
Or how many times I just like ran out to get not in the store, like I'm just going to go pick this up for dinner and I'll just stop on the way home and do that. Or I just need that one more thing, and going, no, like that's not a thing. Like, I mean, I could, but I shouldn't. That's the other thing, is what is important to do versus, what's responsible to do versus what would be nice to do.
Yeah. It's
Well, I've been
weird.
feeling that way about DoorDash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, should I order food or should I just cook for myself? I mean,
Mhm.
if I order food, I'm making sure someone has a job, but at the same time, it's like they're putting their health at risk to bring me the food. So
Mhm.
I feel conflicted.
It is because you're starting to think about others, like what I do, how that impacts
Yeah.
others instead of just what's my comfort level. And so hopefully, when you guys are interacting with those that are essential workers, you express your gratitude. Every time we go do grocery pickup or someone delivers, I'm like, thank you so much. It's a scary world for them, and they provide essential services. I think it's important to let them know how much they are appreciated.
Mhm.
I think
can
we've
tell you the
seen,
amount of times that I've thanked the guy in the meat department as he's restocking. I'm like, thank you for this.
You're a hero. Yeah.
I think we've seen more positive than negative come out of this, kind of the greater good communities coming together. You saw people jump in and making, all the face masks in hordes and stuff. You see the schools that know that their students, especially the younger ones, and doing the teacher parades, and communities are really bonding together. If you need something, boy, you put it out there that you need and you get it back to tenfold. And it's kind of that pay it forward, and so it's been kind of awesome to see that. I like seeing all the senior tributes. I like seeing all the kids crafts, coloring on the mailboxes or the sidewalk chalk art, or the people. It's kind of forced them to get creative for an outlet and stuff. My husband and I dyed Easter eggs first time in long time. And you talked about buying or having time for the arts and crafts. My senior in high school, not a whole lot to get him for Easter. We don't, he's not into that. But I bought some of the arts and crafts at Walmart that were for like the 6 and 8 year olds. And I've seen him back there in the box, like doing some of them, because out of boredom, but he's still kind of done them and stuff. And he will never come out and show me what he's done. I've had to like peek in and see that the boxes have been opened and some of the stuff has been done. So that's been kind of fun to see, he's reverted back to his inner child.
Yeah. That's cool.
It was really neat. I know in Claremore and Bartlesville and several areas, they've put teddy bears in windows for kids to find. So like, I'm in my 20s, but I've still had fun trying to find the bears, which sounds goofy, but
Yeah, I do currently have a life-size baby Groot in my window for the kids.
Yeah. And all the neighborhood scavenger hunts, they're pulling together to kind of keep everybody together. I love that.
At church, they have a big scavenger hunt, like that the church is putting on for Bartlesville, where you can like scavenger hunt all over Bartlesville. And then also for church, we've started doing it online. So on Sunday mornings, like we're Zooming. So it's been interesting because like now, like they'll actually like we have where we go into different people's homes for different parts of service. So that part's been very interesting and kind of cool.
So I want to be cognizant of your time. It's been about an hour, but I did put in the chat, there were 9 things from one of the counselors in our wellness center about simple things kind of each day that you could do. My favorite one is, it's okay if all you do today is just breathe. That's okay. You're still making it through. So, but there are 9 things there to kind of, you want to think about kind of, simple things that would help with that. So thank you all for coming. I hope you got something from the workshop, that it was at least a good hour diversion from whatever you thought you needed to be doing instead. That's okay too. I'm okay with that. So anybody have anything last to say?
Just thank you. Thank you guys for doing this.
No problem.
Thank you a lot.
Thank you all for coming.
Yeah. Well, and see you guys next week. We'll have some other workshops posted. I think there's some fitness ones and stuff. We just want to keep you engaged, and we are all in this together. It will be okay. And we know you're doing the best you can. So just hang in there and stay safe. And we hope to see you guys soon.
Yes. Thank you. Bye.
Hi, thank you.